Hello, and welcome to the Tool Shed, brought to you by Aykaza.
Have you ever asked a relative how they make a fantastic spaghetti sauce, and the answer you got was, "I don't have a recipe. I just do it more or less the same all the time." Their result is a sauce that tastes the same every time. However, when you try to replicate it, it doesn't seem to taste the same. What you are missing is a recipe and training on how to use the recipe. Standards allow you to control activities in a way that with the same input in a process, you get a predictable output. They foster a common understanding and reliable execution of the activities, tasks, independent of who does the work or where things are done. Standards are a necessary step to make sure that the learning gained during the improvement project is shared and becomes an established practice in the organization. They allow for smooth workflows, services, and production environments. The advantages of creating a standard are: 1. Easy to train people on the job. 2. Consistent results from the process. And 3. Provide a base for future improvement. In this video, you will learn about 2 practices that you need to have in place that will give you an effective standard. The first is the standard itself, which is an agreed way of performing the work and the expected result. The second aspect is a management routine for the standard. This is to ensure that the standard is maintained and giving the results you need. There are different kinds of standards depending on your work environment, including standard operating procedures, production guidelines, maintenance plans, checklists, and many more. The principles you will learn in this video can be applied independent of the kind of standard you choose. The 5 principles you need to go through when creating a standard are: first, in the standard itself, your team involvement and agreement, and making sure it's visual and accessible. For the management routine, you need to train to understand, execution and review of the results, and update and approve. Let's look a bit more in details on these points, starting with team involvement and agreement. When you create or update a standard, you need to involve the people that are performing the work in the process, service, or product that you want to create a standard for. Be sure the team understands and agrees on the standard to get commitment from them on the best way of executing the activities and the tasks. The second principle of the standard involves making the standard highly visual and that the users of the standard have easy access to be able to use it. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words is very true when creating standards. Diagrams, pictures, videos, and drawings give less options for interpretation and misunderstanding than wordy explanations. The second part about easy access refers to not having a standard filed away somewhere and not used. This situation means you've wasted time and effort and will not help you get the results you want in the performance of the work defined. Make sure your standard is easy to find and access for everyone concerned. Here are some tips on how to create a good standard that will be effective and useful. First, don't reinvent the wheel. Use what you already have in your organization on how to make standards. Take the time and effort to communicate to those involved and give a chance for questions. All this will contribute to a better engagement and commitment to the standard. Third, explain to the team why it is important and how the standard will help deliver the results that the business demands. Lastly, make sure that you will have a way to check that the standard is delivering the expected results by trying to measure the outputs from the standard. If somehow you try to use the standard and you find that you're not getting the desired results, you can check the following questions before making changes or updates. 1. Have the people using the standard been trained? 2. Do they understand the standard? 3. Have they adhered to it? If you find that the answer is no, you will need to understand why and make some corrections or take further actions such as improving the training. The other 3 principles are part of the management routines to make sure that your standards stay relevant and continue to give you the results you are expecting from the defined standard. Training and understanding the standard means that your people involved in the work need to be trained on new standards or major revisions. The best way to do this is a training with the possibility for questions from participants. Be sure to include information on the importance of the standard and what happens when the standard isn't followed. But don't stop at the training, since often knowledge alone doesn't ensure proper execution. Whenever you can, have someone coach colleagues so that an experienced colleague supports the recently trained person until they feel comfortable with the standard and you are getting the expected results. The fourth principle on standards is the execution and review of the results from the standard. The first part involves checking or measuring if the standard is adhered to. After that, it is important to review and update the standard if needed. As we said before, having an outdated standard serves no purpose. So go ahead and define the frequency of the review cycle such that you can check if the standard is still relevant and continues to give you the expected results. You can then update it as necessary. Again, making sure to involve all those working with the standard. An example of updating the standard can be when the actual output deviates from what is expected. Using what you learned in the analyze and improve steps, aim to identify the root cause of the issue and define corrective actions, such as an update to the standard, retraining, or you may need to create a new standard. Good standards can be like best friends in your work environment. A good standard and a management routine mean that you get consistent results and you reduce waste and defects in your process. It also ensures that those working with the standard understand the what, the how, and when to perform their activities. It allows for efficient cross-functional activities, safe working conditions, and satisfied customers. Finally, standards are living documents. This is because organizations, work, and customers are dynamic, and at some point you will need to make changes. Standards provide the base from managing and delivering continuous improvement and better performance in your business. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Bye.